All right, welcome everyone to our latest edition of Carol Worldwide with special musical intro. We are a local satire and comedy podcast. I'm Dennis.
I'm Randy.
I'm Sherry.
All right, so I guess because we were joking about it, there is a Tawny Town post, and Tony Soprano came to mind. So what's happening?
Last time we talked, I think we had Tiny Town.
Tiny Town, not Tiny Toons, but Tiny Town.
Tiny Town.
Now it's Tony Town.
And then this guy posted, how come there's no new news in Tony Town? It's all the same old crap.
Well,
So
I don't know.
What's happening down there in Tony Town?
Tony Town's population 1.
Tony.
It's just Tony.
Isn't there a bar or something called Tony's?
No, there's a restaurant.
There's a restaurant called Tony.
It's a restaurant, not a bar.
It's the well, no, they have it's the place where
That's what I thought.
There's
the
pizza.
The people had the problem with they had to pay to play pool. They had to actually buy.
It wasn't a
drinks.
community pool table.
And the people, and the waitress or the waiter gave somebody the finger when they left.
Right.
It's
Tony.
a very controversial place in Tony.
That's Tony Town.
In Tony Town.
Hey, Tony.
Tony
I thought of doing a reading of what it would be like, but it would just be the three of us going, Tony. Hey, Tony.
Hey, Tony.
Stugatz.
Tony.
Anthony.
Yeah.
Anthony.
Livia Soprano, all-time TV villain, right?
I think so, yeah.
I think so, right? She's probably number 1. Mm-hmm. Next to maybe number 2 after Walter White. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Was Walter White or was it Gustavo?
No,
Who was the...
If you watch Breaking Bad and don't realize Walter White's the villain, you probably misunderstood what was going on.
I understood, but I was still rooting for him.
You can root for villains.
You can always root for villains. Weeds, you always
I never
root
watched
for.
that one.
If you got through the first 3...
Always root for Nancy Botwin.
If you finished Weeds,
Dexter.
You're a hero because that show went so downhill.
I love Weeds. Stop. Do not disparage Mary Louise Parker in front of me.
She is a beautiful flower, but...
God, she's gorgeous. She's my spirit animal.
But that show just stopped making sense when they burned down the setting.
It did not.
Don't spoil it. I haven't seen it.
Agrestic burns to the ground.
It reinvented itself.
It was so bad.
Completely missing the point.
It was so bad.
No, it wasn't.
After the
It's
first season.
terrific.
Everyone should watch it and weigh in on this argument. Dexter was another one that got real bad.
Dexter did get bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, the villain can be the protagonist, but they're not necessarily the hero.
Yep.
That's true. But and you find yourself rooting for the anti-hero.
Everyone who really hated Skylar in Breaking Bad because she interfered with Walt's fun. It's your mild-mannered high school teacher became a drug kingpin is endangering the family. Why are you mad at her for being the wet blanket?
No, but
She hates fun.
See,
She just hates fun.
there's that fine gray area line between who you root for and who you don't.
Look, Carol hates kids. America hates women.
That is true. Yes.
So we got to think of a big picture here.
That is absolutely true.
All right, so Tony Town. That's
Tony.
Over. And then we're going on to another restaurant that's having a problem.
Oh.
Hey.
The Italian Americans in Carroll County are having a rough week.
Well, we don't know Tony's. Let's not stereotype. Come on, people.
It could be Tony Berkowitz.
But we don't know the restaurant for sure. But tell me what's happening in Hampstead.
Well, in Hampstead, this is breaking news. Where the admin was asking if anybody... The administrator was asking if anyone knew of an attorney, Dennis, who could invest some time in a class action lawsuit against a local restaurateur.
That sounds like something that's right up Dennis's alley.
Maybe he might need a will.
It's an
No
estate
comment.
plan.
More like a won't, am I right?
I won't work there.
Oh, why do I laugh at your jokes?
I won't eat there.
I won't.
So to build a class action lawsuit against the restaurant owner who through over 100 employees in passing has been sexually harassing and yelling and screaming and
Yeah, but
just bad conduct.
Back up. Sexual harassment, big deal, right?
Huge deal.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's but I think there's a big difference between saying hurry your little ass up versus slapping someone and saying, get out there and do this, right?
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, yelling at
you want to see a real sausage, huh? Come to Tony Town.
I mean, being mean is not a crime.
You're right.
It's not. No.
And so like.
It's just a personality
but
fault.
Top to bottom, if this is the place we all are 99.9% sure about, the place is like rotten top to bottom. Like this is consistent with like not treating customers right, ignoring reservations, all that kind of stuff. And there's just like an S&M vibe in Carroll County where they just love to be treated like shit at this place.
You know why?
Oh yeah. Spit in my pasta.
The crab cakes are that good, apparently.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
No. There's at least 5 crab cakes within a mile of here.
Wait a minute.
Over those
We're
crab
just
cakes.
guessing, though, that this is the establishment this anonymous person is talking about. We're just guessing.
We're just guessing.
Just a guess.
But I'm guessing.
We can also guess that door is wood.
But at any
It
rate,
might not be.
Maybe.
at any rate, more power to him. Randy had his prediction and it was true, which is like this will all fade away.
Oh, right.
Like the Grateful Dead.
Yeah. That basically this furor would fail and then nothing would happen. Isn't that true about everything? Like everyone who gets canceled, you wait 2 weeks and like 2020 is like a decade's worth of like history happening all the time.
Nobody commits to anything.
There are people on Twitter that I follow that were like so canceled and like 3 weeks later they came back and they were still tweeting about like Spartan military tactics like nothing happened 3 weeks ago. And it's like
everybody's Teflon.
Yeah.
It's just like all you got to do is rope-a-dope. You just take your punches,
right?
And it'll all blow over.
It's a culture where you can lie and lie and lie and get away with it.
Is the crab house still open?
Over and over again.
That's going to be the golden example.
Oh, was that even something we talked about?
I don't even know if we talked about that. There was a local crab house.
There's a local crab house that said some very bad things.
Got really canceled.
Yes.
If they can't get canceled.
Not Carroll County local.
Yes, Carroll County local.
It was?
There was one in Hampstead or Manchester.
Oh, it's a chain.
Yeah, a chain owned by one guy.
Yeah. It was like multiple stores. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just an endurance test. You either do your mea culpa or you double down.
People forget
on
about
making yourself great again, and whatever. It's done in 2 or 3 weeks. There's no sustained. Which I mean, to be perfectly fair, like I do think like a huge portion of the people who say they care just pretend to care.
No. Yeah,
I noticed it with
correct.
Abercrombie and Fitch. Remember them?
Yes,
remember
of course.
Remember what they said about 15 years ago?
We don't want fat people wearing our clothes?
Or ugly people, right. Go be ugly somewhere else.
I don't think it was that long ago even.
Wasn't it?
It was 2019.
This year just seems long.
It was about 10 years ago though. I'm pretty sure.
It that long ago?
In dog years?
Wow.
Yeah.
In quarantine time?
I think it was 2000 something, like not 2012 or anything like
aughts.
that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But at any rate, you just gotta turtle up, wait for it to blow over. Because but at any rate, this will probably pass as well. But I mean, I think this one did. I think this one had more shares. This one had like 50. There was like a thread about class action lawyer, and then there was a different complaint thread that I think is related that had like 55 or 60 shares, which is a lot.
Were people actually guessing on this share who
No, there was a separate share complaining about the restaurant that we think is being discussed.
Oh, so people got it? They understood?
I think they were like parallel threads sort of thing.
Audience, go back in our archives and listen to an episode called Brothers in Manstead.
Brothers in Manstead. That was a good episode.
Yeah, that will explain a whole backstory.
Always a classic. Get into the catalog, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Good times.
Get into the catalog. So, but Sherry, your point is that the one aspect of the behavior, not commenting on sexual harassment, is actually fairly common for the personality-based kitchen.
It is, and I talked to you guys about this before the broadcast started. Yeah.
The broadcast.
It's the broadcast. We're very professional.
Before our networks kicked in.
We're very professional
syndication.
here. This is a broadcast. Working in a kitchen with a temperamental owner / chef / whatever. I mean, that's what happens. You get screamed at.
I'm sending you the other page.
And things happen, and you gotta...
You're not saying it's right.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm not, but,
But look, where else can you...
Toughen up a little bit, guys. I mean, come on.
But without a degree and without, like, a hard skill, you can at these places make $50 or $100 an hour.
You can make so much money if you are good at what you do as a server, and you maybe have to eat a little shit, which is really true about life,
Look, no one goes to a lawyer to do the fun things.
No.
right? Or the easy things. And that's true about everything, right? Like you don't, but there, look, if you value human dignity and respect, don't get into the service industry, right?
You really shouldn't. No, you really shouldn't, because everyone assumes that you are less than if you're standing somehow behind the counter or are in the back of the house.
Not everybody. I don't treat people that way.
I think that you are the exception then, Randy.
Well, it's a good test. Isn't it a good test as a person's characters, how they treat those people?
Absolutely. And I've been on dates with people who, if they treat servers with a certain amount of indignity, that will be the last date.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
If you're not a good tipper, if you don't understand what it means to work hard for your money and eat shit from a terrible boss, then I've got no time for you. But that's what happens. I mean, truly, that's what happens.
Morality, which is what you're doing when nobody's watching.
Exactly.
Right.
Well,
it's integrity,
it goes back to the shopping cart.
Right, exactly.
It goes back to the shopping cart. If what you're doing when no one is looking is putting the shopping cart back where it belongs, then you probably are a good person. If you're nice to children, if you're kind to animals, that's truly who you are. I mean, and I'm not saying that people who scream at their employees, these impassioned, creative, artistic chefs, are bad people. They're just they're passionate.
But that kind of entitlement leads to other bad behavior. Don't you think that's still that's like the Hollywood actor or director that thinks that, they don't have to wait for a yes in other situations? Don't you think there's a big Venn diagram overlap with those personality types?
I think you're probably right about that, but we're not talking about invasions of people's sexuality or that. We're just talking about a normal working environment. And I've worked for a lot of assholes, and you know who you are, you fat fucking bitch.
I'm in the room. Hello.
Look, Randy doesn't have the gym access he used to. It's really uncalled for. You got product in his hair.
But I've also worked for some amazing people who, give you time and space and your own creative freedoms. And that's a wonderful thing. And there are people like that who exist. Unfortunately, I don't think they exist in the restaurant/service industry. Well, and as a general rule,
I think there is a sense of entitlement with younger people in general that's like, I want the job that I want now, right? And so a lot of people are like, well, I want to do this. And it's like, well, perhaps to get there, you do X, Y, and Z. And maybe that's work a crappy restaurant job so you have some extra cash to go afford being in New York City to do interviews your senior year, right? Maybe that's starting at that place as, a receptionist or whatever, and you want to be an account manager. I don't know. But you don't get to start with your dream job.
No, you don't.
And unless you're the top 10th of 1% in sports or something like that. And even then you're still got to grind for it, right? And so there is some of that, but I mean, I think the bottom line is that you have to, the pay you get, the inherent cultural cachet of the job, the skills of the job, and the treatment of the job are all factors. And you can't have all those factors be high in general, right? No. You've got to give up some treatment for some pay or for some skills or whatever, right? And the more you have of the other things, the better you can be treated. And so if you can be replaced by a 16-year-old off the street and the job pays extremely well for that tier of people, you gotta deal with it, right? I occasionally freelance in the game industry. That pays nothing. Do you know why? Because there's a million dentists that are willing to do it for next to nothing, because it's just like me, it's like a cool thing that I got to do and I got paid for it, and I, as a lawyer, don't need the income. That sucks for everyone who's trying to make a living at it, but that's the nature of this economy, and you can complain about it, but it just makes sense resource allocation wise. So
let me give you a beautiful example of something that happened to me just this week.
We know about Lou Reed.
This week. No, Lou Reed can bend space and time.
He may have been
Lou
back.
Reed has been dead for quite some time now, so this is not about Lou Reed.
Yeah, but drug use isn't dead. You can go visit.
No, it's not. But so you're talking about a certain sense of entitlement that comes with maybe a generation that's a little younger than those of us in this room. And
well, I'm full disclosure. I'm a millennial.
Not to sound like a curmudgeon, but I was at the cafe, and I've been working alone a lot because I can't afford to have 2 people on staff. And I was waiting on a gentleman who was making an order, a very, very large order that was very complicated. And I was interfacing with him one-on-one at the cash register. And you guys know how the cafe is set up. There's another counter that we pass the drinks through. So a young person of a certain millennial generation came up and started to scream, "Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me," repeatedly over me while I'm trying to have a conversation with somebody at the cash register. And I did, my classic behaviorist extinction on him, and I ignored him. And then when he continued, I whipped around and I said, "Can you see that I am waiting on someone else right now?" "Well, I just wanted to know where to put my plate." And I said, "Just put it right there."
That's it?
Yeah. And so he goes on Google and gives me a bad review because I yelled at him and made him feel uncomfortable. So that's like the entitlement that we're talking about right now. Like, who he should be angry with is his mom for not telling him when someone is engaged in a conversation with someone else, it's extremely rude to scream, "Excuse me," 50 times in your loudest big boy voice to try and get their attention when they're clearly speaking directly to someone else. And then to go on fucking Google and write about how I made him feel uncomfortable. If I had been closer to you, you would have been a lot more fucking uncomfortable because I would have punched you right in your fucking face. So anyway, there's my curmudgeon rant for the day.
I like a runt better, but that's fine.
Yeah, well, he was a runt. He couldn't have been more than 5'4".
Ouch.
Nice.
Ouch.
Tiny little boy.
And not Wolverine.
Go fuck yourself.
GQ award. So, yeah, I mean, I think that in general, there's nothing wrong with saying I don't want to be treated that way. Like, it's perfectly if everyone,
there's nothing wrong with that.
If generationally, if people decide that like that kind of behavior is unacceptable, the world will be a better place, right?
Of course.
But you have to realize that right now that's not the case, and so like people will be willing to do that, and it stinks. Like, I would not have wanted to do that. And I worked in fast food. I worked in bad jobs. I worked with people that treated me badly. But
of course.
But that kind
everyone
of
has.
But that, well, not everyone, but most normal people have. But I would have said no. I'm not. I'm not in a situation I want to do that.
You always have that power, though. Is the thing. Like, that's what no one is seeing. Like, you have the power to say, I don't want to be treated this way, and now I'm leaving.
Right.
Because especially I don't have to be here.
Well, especially if you've been in a place like that 3 to 6 months, because like they're a high volume, fairly high price place, and you can just go to another place that perhaps a better environment.
It's so easy. It's so easy to do.
Yeah. So
no one checks references. No one cares.
As long as you can walk.
Are you a warm body and can you write things? Okay, you're hired.
You get shot.
Yeah.
But we're not done yet. Because
what? There's more? But wait, there's more.
Someone from Hampstead stuck their nose in Westminster Business, Randy.
What?
With the movies.
What happened?
Well, yeah, they posted on the Hampstead group that the movies were going to be open that Friday.
True.
Whenever that was going to happen at 50% capacity or whatever it was, and then somebody said, "Well, I will. You need to wear a mask." The mask Karens came out
saying, "Don't or do."
That get a life, live your life, don't wear a mask, etc., etc.
Oh,
she got beat down. It was some older woman. She got beat down so much that she ended up posting a picture of herself in a mask and then deleted her own comment. So I think the whole lesson.
She got shamed into wearing a mask.
Yeah, and deleting it. She's now flipped, I believe. So I'm seeing a lot of anti-maskers are now flipped to wear the mask and let's get through this.
Interesting. That's an interesting phenomenon.
It's just not a joke. I mean, it's just not a joke. Wear a goddamn mask.
Well, I think the people are realizing that if they're going to be rebellious, the business owner is going to get penalized. So that's been
well,
key.
I hope they've realized that.
They're not seeing any support in these places of business.
Right.
No.
Certainly not at sub shops.
I'm not paying $750 for you to be a dick.
You should make people put a $1,500 deposit on not wearing a mask.
And you get 2.
Well, that's what I mean. You'll make money on it no matter what.
Yeah,
I like it.
Okay, we got a new business idea.
Cover charge.
Yeah, we could do mask coins.
I love it.
What?
Cryptocurrency where you get you pay buy a fine's worth of mask not wearing, so you can give people shares of that. Be like, okay, what's your risk? 10% I'm going to get caught. Here's $75. Mm-hmm. Roll the dice with me.
Okay. I'll play that game.
Okay. We'll get into this. Randy, just makes a cryptocurrency. I know that's very simple.
Yeah, I'll start a blockchain. No problem.
Just block this chain.
Awesome.
But we're not done with the mall yet. This is perhaps the most interesting story of the week, but most complicated.
Oh, dear God.
About Dick's.
What about the sporting goods store, though? I have a story about that.
God, Randy's been sitting on that one for...
I was excited for a moment there.
We'll get to the Target story in a minute. So regarding Dick's, it sounds like a novel, doesn't it? About a child who has autism or something.
That's a porno, actually, regarding Dick.
Regarding Henry?
Yes. No, regarding Dick.
Regarding Dick.
Okay.
So regarding Dick's, this guy posted that he somehow witnessed a couple of black guys walk in, grab a bunch of clothing.
At 6 a.m.
He posted it at 6 a.m. Yeah, and they walked out, put it in their car, and left like nothing happened.
And his response was this is an important part. His reaction to having, quote, witnessed that was to what?
I believe he said he wanted to get his gun. He's sick of all this.
Get his concealed carry permit. He was going emphatically to get a concealed carry permit because of this alleged incident at 6 a.m. at a local sporting goods store.
Right, and the comments got very, very polarizing, as they usually do. I mean, you've got your people who are like, wait, what? How did this even happen? People who are critically thinking. Then you have the others who are going, oh, no, it's happening. I know it's happening. That's real. You don't believe it? You're a non-believer. You're a devil. QAnon. So clearly the guy was race baiting. And he failed because someone else who worked at the mall said, wait a minute, did this really happen? Then they posted later, I talked to the manager of the mall, I talked to the manager of Dick's, and this never happened. Nobody knows what you're talking about. This is the second time something like this has happened. The guy deleted his post, by the way. So he got adequately shamed.
Well, here's another question. Did you
click
on his name and see if he's like a real person?
Yeah, and he doesn't have any actual pictures. I don't think it is a real person. I think it's a fake account.
So here's the thing, do you think these people are real people, or do you think this is like a real guy that's stirring up trouble, or do you think this is like astroturfing by like non-native elements? Like, do you think like these are the kinds of things that like foreign countries are doing?
Oh, nah.
Why?
I don't know.
I mean, wouldn't this be the perfect thing?
Why do they care what the voting record is in fucking Carroll County?
Yeah.
Well, it's just a matter of like you just have
it's a predetermined thing in Carroll County already.
Well, your goal isn't just votes. Your goal is divisiveness in general. Your goal is bad climate.
Well, he deleted his
That's
his
been
post.
achieved.
So, yeah, if he deleted his post, probably not. That's probably the best evidence that
I think it was just some
Do you remember a time in your lifetime where you felt more divided?
No, not now.
Ever?
No.
In your life?
Never than right now.
This is awful. I hate this. I don't like living like this. I can't go to family functions because I get called names. Like, I hate my family. I hate everyone I know because of my...
Randy's right here again. You're staring at him.
My personal political views.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're not going to go into them on the show because the show is apolitical.
No, but I'm just saying to you, I'm not telling you. I mean, I think you can probably guess what my political views are, but I'm just saying, like,
I just think Joseph Stalin's out of date, but yeah.
Oh, fuck you. Okay.
But wait, this isn't the first time this has happened at Dick's, because back in the spring, remember when all the stores started opening? Like you had to wear a mask, and all the stores had to be 50% capacity.
Yeah.
I was out, and somebody was posting that there was a riot at Dick's, that people were running in and looting and knocking over stuff. But here's the thing. Everybody started believing that person, and they clarified that Dick's in Westminster at the mall. And I'm like, I'm right around the corner. I'm going to go in and see what's happening. I walked in. Nothing was happening. There were like 10 people in there. It was peaceful. And you would have thought by the comments, it was really happening. So what is the phenomenon that people are believing immediately when someone posts something on social media that it is absolutely true?
Because we're consistently being lied to every day, all the time by people in charge.
But like I was an example of one wild story that was true is Buffalo Wild Wings with the gun being pulled, right? Like that one panned out, but that one panned out. There was like
a lot of corroboration.
Well, I was like suspicious, and then it was like an employee, like it was allegedly someone who was there, and like an employee, and like for some reason that one felt credible, and then there was a news confirmation a couple hours later.
Right.
And I even my friend who used to work at the Times, I even sent it to him. I was like, is this, if this is true? I was a little skeptical, but I mean you just gotta be skeptical, I think, especially when you've got to look at the motivation, right? And you've got to look at like the keywords, right? And like when you start like highlighting like people's isms and their like backgrounds and stuff like that, it's possible it's factual, but then you have to say to yourself, well, is this mainly trying to get a rise out of this audience?
Well, that's what I say to my kids all the time when they come up with these crazy stories. I'm like, where is this news source? Is it credible? Where did this come from? There was a whole thing where there was a furniture store that was having child trafficking stuff, and I was like, hang on a second. Oh, well, yeah. Should you really say that? But okay, whatever.
Was that a QAnon
I guess they don't
thing?
care. Yeah, and it turned out to be completely fake. But for a day or so, I was just like, oh my God, I bought furniture from them. Like, I kind of feel bad about that.
Did you check the drawer for a baby?
I did, and it turned out there was no baby there.
Oh, gosh.
Did you return it?
I didn't. Actually, I bought a chair from them, and I love the chair, so I didn't want to have to return the chair.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. It does feel like, you're right, it does feel like a divisive time. You're right.
It's the most terrible time I can ever recall in my 30 short years.
Well, yeah, I mean,
living in.
Same.
That's true. Same.
Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's awful.
We're all just a couple of millennials here.
Yep.
Few millennials.
Three.
Just a few.
We can
more than two.
Common Core math. What do you want?
We can rename the podcast Millennials Worldwide.
Please, no.
Carol Millennials.
No.
Millennial Carol.
I don't want to be associated with those people.
All right. So, I'm one of those people.
Those people.
EOC Karens.
Finally.
This
something
was
lighthearted.
This was our the group that Randy and I are too wild for. We're not in it anymore.
Have you guys been banned?
We were banned before we even started this version of the podcast. Randy and I both were banned.
So it's the EOC,
Nice work, guys.
the Eldersburg Online Community, what we know as the most racist online community, has been voted in Carroll County Times as the most racist. They won the award. So
Carol's best.
This guy posted,
and that's not the group that posted the dicks thing. So that says something.
They don't ever post news. They just post, why are these people in my neighborhood?
Yeah. Okay.
So somebody posted a screenshot of the conversation he had with the admin, the administrator. The administrator, by the way, lives in Columbia. Doesn't even live in Eldersburg, so it's not even a
carpetbagger.
Group. Yeah. So she wrote a whole diatribe complaining about. She was in the woods and there was a banana peel there, and she was complaining about it. Why, I don't know, because banana peels are biodegradable and earth friendly. And he called her a Karen, so that's
a slur.
Kicked him out of the group.
It is a slur these days.
Slur.
Yep.
Well, I think that's extremely on brand.
But
tread lightly over there.
It spawned like hundreds of comments about how everybody hates this this woman and hates the admins, and they're all on a power trip, which isn't really true. They're just lame.
Okay.
Lame.
That's it. That's spirited defense of them. Then how would we even talk about this one? Mistaken products at Target. This wasn't even local. This was like a meme that got shared, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was a massager that someone did not know how it worked. They thought it was a dual-purpose massager, which it is dual-purpose.
For massaging,
but not in the way.
It was not anatomically shaped for other purposes.
Correct. Yeah. So she was angry because her kids could see it, and
sounds like she needs to get a clue about anatomy.
Why wouldn't this stuff be sold at Dick's? That's what I don't get. It makes more sense.
It might be if it's an athletic massager. When's the last time you went into Dick's?
Never. Oh, I thought you were going to say how to massage.
What if doesn't use massagers?
That's true.
Even them I wouldn't use.
That's true. Okay. I think that's it. Except
Don't
top 10 list.
Hey, you got a top 10.
Yeah.
I do. I got a top 10.
What's your top 10 about?
It's the top 10 things you can find in Tony Town.
Oh, by the way, I just want to interject real quick. There's a picture going around of Vin Diesel with hair going around the internet. Have you seen it?
No. That doesn't seem possible.
Basically looks like Andrew Dice Clay.
Is it like photoshopped or is he actually
No,
going
it's
here?
him in a movie with a head of hair.
Maybe they're the same person. Is that possible?
I think the age gap is a little significant.
Fast and Furious.
Aren't they the same age? Like around the same age?
Dice was like huge in the 70s and 80s.
No.
Late 80s, I think.
The Dice Man was around like way before Vin Diesel was a thing.
I can remember this specific Saturday Night Live that somebody refused to be on it because Andrew Dice Clay was the guest host.
March 89 he released Dice, Randy, so you're right.
Sinead O'Connor.
No, Sinead O'Connor ripped up the...
She refused to be on the show because they told him about it, and he was like, that's too bad. She's a cute, bold chick.
No, but like one of the cast members, I think it was back then, refused to actually participate in the show because he was there. Anyway.
Yeah. If only Dice was still controversial, we'd be in a different...
Yeah, who cares?
I am Groot.
He's actually just old and funny now. Like, he's done a lot of work since then. Anyway, the top 10 things that you can find in Tony Town. Okay.
Yay.
Hey.
Guts.
Some
prosciutto.
Okay, number 10. Some prosciutto. I would kill for some prosciutto. The Bada Bing's Gentlemen's Club.
Yeah.
Number 9, Meadows Ladies of the Evening Boutique.
Meadows.
This is all Sopranos.
Oh, yeah.
Number 8, Little Chrissy's Screenwriting School.
Cosette.
What, are you writing a screenplay?
Number 7, Sills Consigliere College.
That's good. You don't. That's like a real aspirational thing. You don't want to be the person in charge. You want to be the guy behind the guy.
You want to be the guy behind the guy.
Yeah. Okay.
Number 6, Big Pussy's Boats.
Yeah.
You guys remember that? He got tossed off a boat, right?
Yeah.
Spoiler. Come on.
If you haven't seen The Sopranos
Stugatz,
yet,
isn't it the Stugatz?
it's too fucking late.
And the Stugatz too.
Number 5, Junior's Retirement Home.
What is this? We're in the Navy?
Uncle June.
Number 4, Carmela's fucking ziti shop. What, no fucking ziti?
A lot of bleeps today.
I feel like, definitely, they had the roles down, but I feel like that show just put weight on those actors because, like, every scene Tony's in, he's like, there's like so much eating as part of the show.
There's a lot of eating.
And he's not faking it.
No wonder James Gandolfini is dead.
Poor James. What a great actor.
Number 3, Dr. Melfi's Practice for Sociopaths.
In Tonytown? In Tonytown?
Yeah. Dr. Melfi.
There's some police officer that could use it.
Number 2, Adriana's Witness Protection Costume Store.
Get out of the car, you cunt.
Oh, no.
And the number 1 thing that you can find in Tonytown? Paulie's Walnuts.
There you go.
Respect.
Boo, boo, doo, boo. Wingtips.
His whole face when he said respect, like his whole face is like rippled like a balloon.
Definitely show that I would always be willing to rewatch.
I think I'm going to start rewatching it tonight.
I'm also thinking about rereading Dune because of the trailer. But I just reread Dune.
You should rewatch Weeds too. You'll have a new appreciation for it.
I absolutely will not.
Have you seen Cobra Kai?
No, but it's on Netflix now, so I want to watch it.
I'm telling you.
You got to watch it, Dennis.
There is a kid on that show that is exactly you. He is you as a teenager. Exactly.
Oh boy.
It's like
this is tough.
He used you as his inspiration.
Okay. Well,
I can't stop laughing.
I'm an inspiring person.
I don't even have to tell you who it is. You'll know.
You will know.
You will know.
I'll know. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Challenge accepted. I got a lot of backlog. I'm watching some anime right now, Randy. I'm very busy.
Naruto.
So is that kid on Cobra Kai.
Naruto has like 500 episodes or something.
Oh my god. There's like so many episodes because there's 3 different shows. There's Naruto Shippuden, Boruto. I'm like never going to watch that show again.
Oh dear God.
Again. Okay.
I only watched the first one. I liked it. I'm not going to lie.
Dune is probably not going to be as long as his podcast though.
It's only half the book in the first movie, so it's not even the whole book.
Then it gets to the 2 towers and
yeah.
Return of the King.
Randy, before you will lose your mind when they get to the gigantic phallic sandworm. So
that sounds interesting.
All right.
Do they vibrate a target?
They definitely blow out a lot of spice. All right. I'm Dennis Twig.
I'm Randy Goldstein.
I'm Sherry Hosfeld Joseph.
See ya.